Look alive, everybody. Mandatory Miss 77 in the house, and some rather shocking news has dropped. Well, not just news, but it was on NXT. The NXT Women's Champion, Asuka, aka the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion in WWE history, has vacated her championship due to an injury. So, okay, this is... I don't know how to react to this. So I'll try and explain this in a bit more detail because you may not be maybe confused as to what the hell is going on. So Asuka had a match against Ember Moon at TakeOver Brooklyn 3, and it was great. But after the match, it was revealed she had suffered a collarbone injury, and she would be out for a few months, meaning she has to vacate her championship. Right, so I have a few things. There's a few questions. Is it a walk or a shoot or whatever? We'll get to those later, but we do know that the vacating the championship thing has left Asuka undefeated. It still means she's being undefeated. Vacant beat her. That's kind of like a joke now that Vacant is like an active wrestler who is like the most successful wrestler in wrestling history. But you know, it's kind of a joke, and it's not really... I mean, I can get the humor on it, but right now we're not talking about jokes. We're talking serious NXT Women's Championship business. So, Asuka, who held the championship for about 510 days, and broke numerous records, she has been Women's Champion for well over a year now. In fact, she was approaching a 2-year-long run. But again, the collarbone injury kind of put a stop to that. Anyway, so she now obviously NXT treats that championship as a big deal because on NXT, the one where she had to pick in the championship, every woman, and heck, there was probably I didn't really see very well, but there was every NXT wrestler was out there on the stage, applauding Asuka, and I think even Ember Moon gave her offered out her hand during the vacation. Not should I say vacation? The thing where Asuka vacated her championship, and Asuka gave her a hug, which was quite sweet. But yeah. Now I don't know whether it's a walk or a shoot. Again, if you're not the most interesting, well, one, why are you watching this video, and two, a walk is like something that's fake or scripted, and a shoot is something that's real. So it's unknown whether the injury is real or fake, because some people are speculating that the injury is a walk, that it's fake, because Asuka, when Triple H came into the ring, kind of like to celebrate the title one, and you know, to celebrate the championship run, and Asuka gave Asuka a hug, but Asuka used both her arms to hug Trips, which meant that maybe that injury was fake. Because if you have a collarbone injury, one of your arms is going to be a bit messed up for a while. So using both your hands, but I mean, I kind of, whether it's a walk or not, I don't know. But I mean, I guess there's also like the Finn Balor situation, because Balor was fine using the arm for the rest of the match. But I don't know. It's confusing. But we can't. You know what? We have to remember the championship run. Now, Asuka. There are speculation that Asuka will be heading to the... Well, it's actually very strong rumors now that Asuka will be heading to the main roster when she returns from injury. And I'll be honest, I really hope that happens. Well, why wouldn't it? But there are a few people who are worried that, you know, WWE, the main roster, will ruin her, and I hope to God that won't happen. Now, I haven't been watching many Asuka matches because I never really kept up on NXT much, but I know how important that reign was, and... But people may say that's a bit boring because the same person winning over and over again. But Asuka's reign made the championship feel special because after the 4 Horsewomen and Paige and that's the main roster, there was nobody else as much star power as Asuka was. So Asuka held the championship and made herself and everybody she fought feel prestigious. And look at them now. Ember Moon is one of the most popular women on NXT. Nikki Cross is a member of Sanity, one of the most popular factions in WWE, and Peyton Royce is, well, I'm not sure about Peyton Royce, but I haven't been keeping up with NXT, so don't blame me. So, what's going to happen with the women's division after this? Well, there are rumors that now that the women's championship is vacant, that maybe in the finals of the Mae Young Classic that's happening in NXT will be for the NXT Women's Championship, kind of like how the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic was for the Cruiserweight Championship, for the new Cruiserweight, well, at the time, new Cruiserweight Championship. So, yeah, that's the thing, and that's something to maybe look forward to. But again, we have to focus on the reign of Asuka. So Asuka, I'm not an expert. I think she won against Bayley, and she battled the 4 Horsewomen, defending against the 4 Horsewomen, etc., etc. Nikki Cross, Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, all those people. Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Nikki Cross. I already mentioned them, but it made her feel, and it made the championship feel prestigious. Plus, she's an amazing wrestler, so she's still entertaining. And while she's not the best on the mic, that's. I guess we can't have everything. And in fairness, Asuka English isn't not Asuka's first language, so maybe give her a chance and she'll get better. But anyway, now that her reign is over, chances are she'll be moving to the main roster, which is long overdue, by the way. And if she's still undefeated. Remember that. She's still undefeated. She had to fake it her championship due to an injury, but she still won the match that she suffered the injury in. Kind of like how Finn Balor defeated Seth Rollins after receiving an injury that put him on the sidelines, and then had to fake it the championship the night after. But that's that. But now I don't know. Asuka is still undefeated again. So if she goes to the main roster, they could maybe exploit the fact that she's still undefeated. Plus, if she goes to Raw, she will have Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte, and she fought all of them before, or at least Bayley and Sasha Banks. So she could kind of exploit that and maybe enter a feud on the main roster with them, which would be cool. But again, we have to focus on the NXT Women's Division now. Who should win the Women's Championship down in NXT? Well, Ember Moon seems to be the most popular one right now. The most popular face and, the most popular one to win the whole thing. So, maybe she will win it. Then there's also Nikki Cross. There's a lot of women. There's a lot of talented women down there that deserve to win the championship. But I guess that's what we have to wait. That's what the Mae Young Classic is for. There's also like a lot of indie wrestlers coming onto the Mae Young Classic. Now some of them are Japanese, so it's kind of hard for me to pronounce them. But it's balls. I'm not going to even try. I don't want to end up embarrassing myself or offending anybody, so I'm not going to try and pronounce any of their names. But the Japanese ones. I'm probably being quite racist. Sorry. I hope I'm not. But anyway, again, it's very big news for the world of wrestling. Even though Asuka never stepped foot on the main roster, it's still quite big news for people who barely know NXT, because Asuka's reign became like etched. It was just a lasting constant, kind of, at this point, that people just assumed that it would go on forever until Asuka retired or Asuka moved up to the main roster. And now that the news has dropped that she's vacated the championship, it's quite shocking, and it also puts a lot of eyes on NXT, but it also puts a lot of eyes on Asuka, because people will be like, okay, Asuka's now injured, and maybe when she recovers, she'll go on the main roster, maybe to Raw, maybe to SmackDown, who the hell knows. But if she goes on to one of the things, if she goes into the main roster, I hope she becomes like undefeated, same gimmick as her NXT one. So yeah, that's important news. But anyway, the injury once again is a collarbone injury, and again, is it a walk? Is it a shoot? I don't know. Now, if it's a walk, it's quite smart, because it makes Asuka seem undefeated, and it still makes her look strong going into her little injury, going injured or whatever. It still makes her look strong now, despite losing the championship, and because she hasn't lost technically. She hasn't lost. Maybe she can go into the main roster and claim that she never lost the championship and then win the women's championship on the main roster. Maybe that can happen. But it is a quite smart ending because I don't know if NXT knew what they were gonna do, because they had made such a monster, such a devastating monster who was also so popular. I don't think they knew what the best way to end it was. It was the same with Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. They didn't really know how to blow that feud off, and so I think now though they found the right way to blow it off, kind of smartly, and keeping Asuka looking strong, keeping the championship still feeling prestigious and everything. So I think everybody benefited from it, or nobody got like negatively affected by it, which is a good thing. You do not want anybody to be negatively affected by a championship blow off or rivalry blow off. But anyway, yeah, it was a smart idea because again, Asuka didn't get defeated, so that's that, and also it sets up a possible storyline for Asuka on the main roster. She can be like she was defeated, and that would be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to see something like that. But anyway, once again, I hope we have to remember now, if it's a shoot though, that's a different story, because if Asuka's legitimately injured, that will mean that that the NXT didn't have to plan in their heads in the beginning, and they have to adapt. I want to see what that happens. But anyway, if it is a real injury, I do hope Asuka gets well soon. She's an amazingly talented women's wrestler, and she has a lot of potential to be, well, the Empress of Tomorrow, as her, theme song says. But anyway, I have been mandatory missed, and I will see you in the next one.